If you look around my garden, especially during the summer months, you are going to see this everywhere. Believe it or not, this $3 item from a home improvement store is one of my favorite ways to garden vertically. And in today's video, I'm going to show you why this is one of the most versatile and inexpensive ways to quickly add vertical space in your garden. But if we haven't met before, my name's Angela from Growing in the Garden, and I love to share garden inspiration and helpful tips so you can be successful in your own garden. I use ladder mesh block all over my garden. What exactly is ladder mesh block? Its intended purpose is to help reinforce masonry applications, basically to help build block walls. And it's commonly found in home improvement stores here in Arizona because most of the fences we make are made out of concrete blocks. Ladder mesh block is so easy to install, it can be used anywhere, and best of all, you can take it out at the end of the season and store it away to use again next season. So here's what I do when I'm using ladder mesh block. I try and put it in place at the time of planting or shortly after I plant, before the plant gets too large so you're not disrupting those roots. Place one end in the soil next to the climbing plant and push it into the soil until it is several inches deep. Then I'll bend that ladder mesh block over and press the other end into the soil about 2 or 3 feet away from where I placed the first end. And as the plant grows, I help it find this trellis and it climbs up and over. At the end of the season, when it's time to take off the plant, I pull it out and store again for next year. It couldn't be easier. It really is so simple to add this to your garden. So here are a few ideas for ways to use it in your garden. You can use several ladder mesh blocks in a row when you have more than one climbing plant. Or if you have a large plant like cantaloupe or small watermelon, you can use multiple trellises next to each other for that one plant. It is so versatile and easy to use, and it's really fun to get creative with it. If you have several containers in a row, put one end in each container and watch your plants grow from one container into the next. It's important to pay attention when the fruits on things like cantaloupe are forming because you want to have that fruit form in the middle of that trellis. So if you see it form on the outside of the trellis, before it gets too large, simply put it on the inside and that will provide the maximum support for that cantaloupe or melon or cucumber or whatever's growing. Spend a little time each day tucking the plants in and around the trellis. So which plants can you grow on this type of trellis? The list is actually pretty long. Here are a few of my favorites. Peas, pole beans, asparagus beans, cucumbers, Armenian cucumbers, cucamelons, cantaloupe, honeydew, mini watermelons, Malabar spinach, mini jack pumpkins, or other small winter squash. There are some really large vining plants that are simply too big for these trellises. That would include plants like loofah, full-size pumpkins, many other varieties of winter squash, and most watermelons. They will quickly outgrow this, and it's better to use a larger trellis. Tomatoes would also be a little bit tricky. Ladder mesh block isn't just for trellising plants in your garden. There are a few other ways I like to use it in my garden. Put the ends on either side of your bed and use it as hoop supports for floating row cover for frost or insect protection. You can also drape shade cloth over those same hoops for shading plants. Cover it with tulle to protect newly planted seedlings and seeds from birds. Strategically use it in your garden to provide shade for smaller plants underneath those vining crops. Ladder mesh block is typically pretty easy to find. Check your local home improvement store or big box store and they may have ladder mesh block in the building department. There's a 2-inch size and an 8-inch size. The larger size can be a little bit flimsier, and so I like using the smaller size, maybe a couple of those put together instead of the larger ones. Use the size that you prefer. There are so many reasons why I love to garden vertically, and using ladder mesh block makes it quick, easy, and inexpensive. I hope you'll give it a try. Thank you so much for watching.